Hello, ladies and gentle ladies. Welcome back to another Industria development stream. Now, the audio levels in the beginning of the stream may be a little bit scuffed because I've changed some of my settings with my microphone, so it's probably not going to be great at the start, but hopefully that will fix itself. Is my hope, anyways. I'm also trying something a little bit different with the music, so we'll see what happens with that. I don't really trust it, but yeah, hopefully that will work as well. I am gonna have to give it a minute before I actually go ahead and switch over, because my bandwidth is being a little bit strained right now, because I have some downloads. Actually, they have just completed, so that's perfect. So I wanted to add some more music to the music pool. So let me see if I can just get this to work, and then we'll get started. Okay, so that is all doing its thing. Now, YouTube is complaining at me right now. Let me just try and figure out why that's the case. I'm hesitant to switch over if it's gonna complain, so let me quickly try and figure this out, and then we'll hopefully be able to start. Possibly my internet is just dying for some reason. That would not be particularly surprising. Okay, everything looks to be fine. I don't know why YouTube is complaining. I'm quickly just gonna see. Okay, the audio levels I think are also fine, right? So if that's the case, then all should be good. Let me reopen the playlist for music so that we have some more music that it should hopefully play. Okay, there we go. Okay. So, hello everybody. We can now actually start everything. I've just closed some things. So now I only have IntelliJ, OBS and VLC. That's all I need. Okay. So yes, last time we were doing multi-block definitions, and I think more specifically we were doing the actual other stuff, the detection, right? So that was the matcher that we were doing last time, and we were also doing transform and that kind of thing. So there was a few things that we were doing last time. So yeah, since then I have gone ahead and created a multi-block definition provider, which is just gonna do the data gen for me. But we're not going to worry too much about this. I do just need to add it, and then we'll go on once it's added. So let's quickly do that, and then we can be done. So how do you even do this again? I completely forgot. You do it in here apparently. So pack.add provider, a multi-block definition provider, colon new. I actually can't do colon new because I need to do the lambda thing. There you go, output and registry future. That's what I wanted. So now I can do a new multi-block definition provider, which will then take in everything I want. So that will take in the output, then that will take in the registry future, and then that will take in industria.modid. There we go. So that is that done. Yeah, and then in here, I think I just need to do registry builder.add registry. No, what is it? Industria registries dot multi-block definitions key, and then that will just need to take in this, which will be a bootstrap method. So I do actually need that. I don't currently have that, so that will need to be multi-block definitions init bootstrap. That should not be plural though. There we go. And then also we need to have this class in existence, because otherwise that's no use. So I'll create a new class like that, and then public static void bootstrap, which will take in a registerable of a multi-block definition, which is the context, I think I usually call this. What is that correct? Yes, that is correct. And then yeah, everything goes from there. So let's just import that. It doesn't like bootstrap, admittedly, because I called it bootstrap. Bootstrap, there we go. Wait, you making it so I can add multi-blocks as JSON? Yes, kind of. That is the plan, at least, to have them be done via JSON. That was just kind of be the easiest way to do it. So if I can do that, that would be fantastic. Now, this isn't used right now, but that's fine, I think. I don't think that's a problem per se. Yeah, that's all fine. Okay, that's fine, and then that's fine. Okay, so we need a way to test this new multi-block system. So I propose we make a new block that will do kind of all of this for us. So ow. That hurt. I don't know why I yawn so much on streams, by the way. Because when I record a video, I don't. And I don't know what's different about it. I have no idea. Also, this music is not working. I told it to shuffle a folder, but apparently shuffling a folder means that it chooses a folder within that folder and then shuffles that folder, and then once it's done with that folder, it moves on to the next folder, rather than shuffling through all the folders, which is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. I don't know who invented this system, but it's atrocious. And I don't know that there's necessarily a way to fix that even. Yeah, I'm trying, but it's... You know, I'm gonna do a quick hacky fix for this, because I don't think we want lo-fi the entire time. So I'm just gonna create a new folder for all music, and then what I'm gonna have to do, so I'm just gonna have to go through each of them. Actually, I don't want to do that. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go through each of them and manually copy each of the songs into them. It's just gonna take a moment because there's quite a few songs and they're all pretty big files, so it's just gonna take me a minute. Okay. And these ones. Oh, my computer's lagging out. That's never a good thing. It doesn't like me moving all these files, apparently. Okay. Apparently the okay, I tried to... Okay, a lot of this has not worked. I tried to download a lo-fi one. I think in doing so, I actually managed to delete something else. Okay. Well, I have to go without lo-fi today then. But that's fine, because I have all of the rest. So I can just do this. There we go. Okay. So apparently we have 4 hours 9 minutes of music, which should cover us for the entire stream. So that's good enough. Okay. Fantastic. So now we can actually do stuff now that we have music working properly. So yeah, we need to test this, right? We need to create some kind of way to go ahead and test this. Now, I have actually done a lot of things since the last stream other than Multiblocks. So really, I say a lot of things, it's really just textures. And I haven't done the textures because I have someone who's making some textures for me. I will show you guys those once we get in the game, but we need to create some kind of multi-block test first. So let's create a multi-block test block. And I'm going to call this multi-block test block. Let me turn Copilot back on. That's off because of the tutorial I recorded at some point. When did I record it? Was it today or was it yesterday? No, it was yesterday. It's been off since that. So there we go. Register with copy. Now, actually, no, this is incorrect because the multi-blocks don't work this way, right? So what I actually want is a controller block. So a multi-block test controller block. Okay, and we actually need a way in the world for it to listen to block updates and then see if that block is part of a multi-block. So we're gonna probably want some kind of like hammer right, that can construct the multi-block so that it doesn't have to constantly check every single time a block is placed. I think that's the best approach, so we can do that. That's perfectly fine. I can come just down here, static final item, and I'm just going to call this a, yeah, for now we'll just make it a hammer, right? Just like your classic hammer, or wrench, I suppose. Should we do hammer or wrench? What do you guys think? Hammer or wrench? That's the question. I think it's 50-50 really. I think we'll probably go with wrench. Yeah, we'll go with wrench. Okay. And then we just need to make it so when this item actually is used on a block, so this is actually going to need its own class. So a wrench item will be, I don't exactly know how you register an item, admittedly, that doesn't have the usual. Just register, apparently. So register. And let's do a settings, new wrench item, settings dot, you don't need to set the count if you have a damage, right? So settings dot max damage 64. Probably want more than 64 or something. In fact, do we even want a damage? Probably not, actually. So let's just do max count 1. Would be an easier solution. And then let's go into our item package and create a new wrench item, which extends item. I don't have any form of like Industria item yet. I will probably want that at some point in the future, but right now we don't have that. So then we have use on block. Now when this is used on a block, we need to see if that block is part of a multi-block, right? So let's first get the state. So context dot assume the block pos is the position that it's hit on, right? The position that it's hit on, yes, it is. So what we can do is we can do block state is equal context dot world dot get block state context dot get block pos, like that. Now I am going to create some variables, of course, so we'll do world and we'll do block pos, and then we need to see, okay, we will probably want something like this in the future, but that's not what I'm worried about right now. We need to see if this block is in a multi-block, right? So this isn't going to be easy to do, but we basically need to say multi-block, or really just Industria registries dot multi-block definitions dot stream. Can we just get the values? No. Okay, so we'll stream the entries, and then we will filter to see reference has key and value, sure, and then map to say get key. No, we want to get the value, please. Value. Hello, so I still can't say it, man. Someday I will. Someday I'll figure it out. Sohabin, welcome to the stream. Okay, multi-block definition. We want a way to know if this is in the definition, right? So definition, definition dot can exist, can have state, which will then pass in the state. And then we want to find the first, and well, actually we want to find all of them, right? We want to find all of them, so we want to do toList, which will be the possible multi-blocks, right? So we need to know kind of what multi-blocks could have this block in it, and then for each of those we basically need to test them all, which is going to be a pain in the butt. But that's kind of probably the best way to do this. So filter, definition can have state. So we need to create this method first of all. And then palette dot values dot stream dot any match predicate dot test, which needs to take in a world. So let's say world, or really just a structure world access is the important part that we need, right? So test world. Oh, this takes in a pos, not a state. Okay. Interesting. Sure. So how does that work then? Matching blocks. Okay. Whatever. Good enough for me. So yes, then we can say can have, let's do can have block, I guess, or can have, yeah, I mean it really is the state, but we'll say block. Yeah. Which then needs to just pass in the pos, so we actually don't need the state, we don't care about the state in that case. Which passes in the world. Well, there you go. Oh, it needs to be a server world, I think. Right? If this was a server world, yeah. Okay. So if not world is instance of a server world. Server world, return action result dot pass. There we go. If possible multi-blocks is empty, then we pass. Then we need to do possible multi-blocks dot for multi-block definition in possible multi-blocks. Do we really want to do this? We need an efficient way to do this, right? We need a way to be able to click on a block and say, is this going to be valid, right? And then we need to know, we somehow have to figure out how is this, or like where is this block in relation to the rest, right? To me, the easiest way to do that would probably be to have multiple positions, right? So do a search that says, okay, all of these multi-blocks have this block in it, and then say, this is the block next to it. Do all of these multi-blocks have this block and this block in it? But then I guess the problem is you could be on the edge of a multi-block. You probably would be on the edge of a multi-block. Are you gonna do an Oritech like multi-block? I don't know what Oritech is. Oritech. Oritech, here we go. Looking at the image, I would say no, but I would need to know exactly how they work. They just build themselves, right? By the looks of it, is my understanding. In which case, the answer is no, because that's specifically what I'm trying to avoid. That, I mean, that looks to me like how they work, but there honestly isn't much on the thing. So maybe, but probably not, because yeah, if they build themselves, then no. Otherwise, yes, I guess. So how are we gonna do this though? This is gonna be quite complex, right? We need a way. I'm actually not sure how to do this, admittedly. I can think of a very inefficient way to do it, which maybe I should just start with. But alternatively, if I can come up with a more efficient way to do it, that would be great. One second, I've done this before. I have done this before. I did this in Turkey Chemistry, but not the old Turkey Chemistry. I did this in 1.19 Turkey Chemistry. And we made it so that you had to build an alloy furnace. It was a 3x3, and then it had one block on top in the middle. And I think the center block was hollow as well. Let me see if I can find that. I have way too many GitHub repositories. Turkey Chemistry, here we go. Source main Java. Actually, it might not be on the main branch. It might be on the dev branch. Here, I can show you guys anyways. Hello Spino, welcome to the stream. How do you get the voxel shape working for the hitbox if it's a block entity and not full block? Exactly the same as it is with a non-block entity. It's exactly the same. There isn't anything special there. Block. Here we go. Clay alloy furnace. Huh. It must be on the dev branch then. Let's see. I don't see anything. I was sure. I'm certain we implemented multi-blocks. Like 100% sure. $1,000,000% sure. Multi-block in it. Here we go. Found them. So now I have to go. It'll probably be in events actually. No. But where even is the code for Multiblocks? Oh, it's in 30lib. That's why. Oh my god. Are you kidding me? That's why. Yeah, that makes sense. I can do it normally for a normal block for 1.21.1. Don't I have a video on this? 1 second. I've done it in my latest tutorial, which I haven't released yet, but I'm pretty sure I did it originally anyways. I'm trying to think what ones I've done. I think it would actually be in the inventory tutorial, weirdly enough. No. I did a tutorial on custom block models, didn't I? Or did I imagine that? No, apparently I guess I imagined that. Wait, 1 second. Really? I think I'm imagining stuff, guys. Huh. Oh, no. It will be in the block entity renderer tutorial. What am I thinking? Of course it is. Block entity renderer. Creating a model, creating folder. 1 second, I've got to go through all of the chapters. Basic model rendering, no. Creating a voxel shape. Here we go. I found it. Very please help me with this. But have some patience. My God, these young'uns nowadays. Have some friggin' patience. I'm not the Flash. Sure. It's good enough. But I'm not getting old. Just everyone else is young. There's the difference. Or everyone else is younger. Or that's, well, not everyone, of course. That would be insane. But you get the point. Anyways, what I need to do is look in 30lib. So let's look in 30lib. Now, I'm not going to bring up my repositories on stream, because I have I have a lot of private repositories as well. So let me try and find 30lib, and I'll bring that up. There we go. Okay. I should send something off, but that's done now. 30lib, I found it. That was actually much easier to find, surprisingly. Okay, source main, Java, dev, 30lib, core. Is it on the correct? Yes, it is. Okay. Multiblock listener. Aha. So for multiblock in the multiblocks. Okay. Filter does not require activation. Okay. So it does find small. Find small. Okay, so it goes through the width, the depth, and the height, and then it searches to see if the pattern matches. So it tries to do a pattern match. Yeah, and then it has kind of a more efficient one for large multi-blocks. I see. Wait, but where is find large used? Where's find large used? It's not used. Oh. Okay, let's look at this one actually, because this one's a little bit more relevant. Yeah, but it just does the same thing, doesn't it? Yeah. Okay. Let me have a look at something similar that might also be more relevant, because this isn't really going to help me, right? I mean, this will work. This kind of thing would work, but it's going to be very inefficient, right? Because the mod's going to have a lot of multi-blocks. This worked because there was only one multi-block, right? So I probably looked at the speed of it and I was like, that's fine. But then I have to realize that, like, hey, the more multi-blocks I have, it's exponentially going to take longer to find. So I have to come up with a better way to do this. Let's get rid of this anyways, because that's not going to be relevant to me. So how do we want to do this? I guess we don't really have a choice. If we think about it, right, there's no way to know. Yeah, there's no way to know without going through all of them and checking, right? Obviously, this filter initially is going to be very useful. Assuming they don't click like a generic block. The problem is if they clicked a generic block that was in every single multi-block. Because if they did that, then it would have to go through every single multi-block and validate to see if it would be valid. And then the problem is it has to be able to do that for mirroring, and it has to be able to do that for rotations. It becomes a little bit of a problem. You know, you're basically asking it to go through all possible combinations. I think the best way to do this would be if I can find out, right, all of the possible positions, right, the pos that I clicked, right, so whatever state I've clicked, if I can go through all the multi-blocks and find out where all of the local positions would be that match that block, right, and then what I could do is for all of those, I can take, so using that as a local position, so that'd be the anchor point, I can then create like a bounding box that represents the possible like area that the rest of the blocks could be, and then grab all of those. So that would mean that then mirroring isn't a problem. Well, I guess mirroring would be a problem because it could be mirrored. Ah, bugger. Okay, I don't know that we're going to be able to avoid an issue with mirroring. I think we're just going to have to do it, and we're going to have to see how long it takes. If it takes too long, then we're going to have to come up with a better solution. But it's also going to be hard to know how long it takes without having a lot of multi-blocks. So this could be a future optimization thing that I have to look into, rather than something I can deal with right now. Let me quickly... hello, Agent Cryo. Welcome to the stream. How does this define mirroring? 1 second. Wrong class. This one. How does this define? 31 PR for Industria right now. Check if you wanna. Let's have a look. It might not be something I can merge because I have a lot of changes right now. Use create MBT instead of using MBT right view directly. Streamlined how block entities prepare their initial data, unifying behavior across the system for consistent loading and updates. Move to the... I don't understand. What did you do? Return create MBT. So question, what's create MBT? What is create and what is create MBT? It's a fabric method? From what class? No, I can just have a look, can't I? Create MBT. This one. Apparently this calls write MBT. It definitely doesn't call write MBT because that doesn't exist anymore. I see. So it just calls the write data method. I see. Hello. How do I say that? You guys have some weird names. Kakik Gomes? I think that's how I say your name. I probably butchered it. I apologize. Welcome to the stream. Okay, so oh, it's probably Kaiku. I don't know. I really don't know. I'm terrible with names anyways, so I even if it was easy to pronounce, I'd probably still completely butcher it. Okay, I guess I can merge this PR, right? Let me see. I'm just going to check if I can merge this PR or not. Because as you can see, 855 changed files, so there's a decent chance I will not be able to merge it, but let's have a look. I can filter for updatable. Nope. Okay, what about the other one? What was it? Fractional. Nope, you're good. I can merge that. As long as it's fine. What has Code Rabbit said? Yeah, it said it's fine. I mean, you haven't really done anything that would cause it to not be fine, so that was fine. But yeah, as I say, 855 changed files. So granted, a lot of them are just JSON files, because I've added a lot of blocks and a lot of items, which I'm actually not even done with adding, but yeah, we'll come back to those, as I say. What was I doing? So I think we should just trying to think, how do we want to do this, man? There's many ways I think we could do this, right? Okay. Oh, that is a thing. 1 second. This. A save for collecting statistics such as count, min, max, sum, and average. Huh. So we could use that, right? Let's create a class. 1 second. Let's create a class. Hello. I'm not sure what you want me to call your name. Spider-Man, Rayman, Lift. What do you want me to call your name? What do you want me to call you by? Because I am not saying that whole thing every single time. But welcome to the stream. I'm gonna create a class called Multiblock Variant, so that I can just have a variant, right? So an axis rotation and a mirror mode. That's it. That's all I want that to be. Nothing special. Okay. So let's create a list of multi-block variant. And by the way, I'm obviously going to extract this method afterwards, right? So that it's not inside of the wrench item. Is equal to, and then we need some way to like create the variants, right? So list all of the possible variants. Let's do find variants, or list variants, and then we can create that as a method in here. Let's have a little like cache for this, right? So can we do that? No, because it's a bloody record. Ugh. God, I hate records sometimes. That means we need to convert it to a class then. Okay. And then all we need to do is have a private final list of multi-block variants, which I'm going to call the variant hash, like that. And I'm obviously going to define that up here though, so okay. And then if this dot variant cache is not empty, then I can go ahead and just return this dot variant cache. Else we need to create the cache, so we'll go through each rotation, each mirror mode, then we'll create a variant, then we will do that and do that. In reality, we could probably just make this a set and then convert it to is it better to create it to a set and then turn it into a list? Actually, we can just make it a set anyways, right? New hash set, and then we can just do variants.add like that, and then just return. Oh yes, we need to do this first, and then we can return variants, right? That's fine. This just needs to become a set, right? So we do hash set. In fact, there isn't much point creating this set, right? We can just do this dot variant cache dot add. Or is that a bad idea? Well, I think that's fine. Right, that should be fine. So then that just gives us a set of multi-block variant, which is our variants, right? And then what we need is that weird class that I've never heard of before. So let's have a var stats is equal to a new int summary statistics, and then we'll do variance dot for. How does it work at IDE? Is it open source? Yes, the IDE Railroad is indeed open source, so you can just check it out on GitHub. That is github.com/railroad team/railroad. Oh, I can't paste it in chat. There you go. Jersey, did you ever kick somebody off your stream? Have I ever kicked anyone off the stream? I don't know. I don't think so. I did when I was on Twitch. When I used to stream to Twitch, I started multi-streaming for a while, and I had to obviously get rid of people all the time, because on Twitch there's constantly just bots, right? You know, have someone come along and say, oh, you look like you could do some artwork. Do you want me to do some artwork? And it's just like, bro. So yes, on Twitch I did. On YouTube, I don't think so. I can't think of anyone on YouTube that I've yeeted. I need to get this from the definition. Let's just call this the definition. Can I not do that? Definition? There you go. Dot size. There you go. Do you use DaVinci to edit? Yes, I do indeed use DaVinci to edit. So then let's do a while loop for the size.y. Then let's get a list of string, which is the rows is equal variant.get layer. Let's actually create that as a method. That's a pretty good method. Oh no, not from the variant. That's not what I meant. I meant definition. No, I guess we can just grab it from the pattern, right? So we can get Y. That's fine. And then for Z is equal 0, E is less than size dot Z. I just mixed Z and Z. I don't know how I managed that, but here we are. String row is equal rows dot get Z, and then X, and then what we want to do is just do yeah, so then for this we want to get the predicate, right? Well, no, we don't actually need to get the predicate because... Wait, do we? No, we don't, because we've already done that. Right, we've done that here, using this filter. We've checked, we've already filtered out the blocks that won't have it. So we don't need to worry about that. We need to instead get the block pos, which is the origin. I'm going to join the Discord to see if I can help out with anything on Railroad. That would be great. Speaking of, I intended to record a video about Railroad today. I ended up not doing that because my PC was literally dying. So I had to try and fix that. So I haven't actually even edited the video I wanted to release today, but I'm probably going to do that after the stream. Just get that finished off. I'm like halfway through, so that should come out today. But the Railroad video will probably have to wait till tomorrow. And I also have my first short coming out tomorrow as well, so that's obviously very exciting. But yeah, I mean, that's fine, right? So yeah, hopefully there'll be a Railroad video tomorrow. If there is, it will probably actually release probably just before the stream, I can imagine, but we'll see. I want to try shorts, but I have nothing to put in shorts. Yeah, honestly, I don't have anything to put in shorts either. This is just very much a one-off scenario where I happen to have a short. It's not like an amazing short. It is just a clip from stream, but I think it's good enough to fly as a short, so you know. So there, yeah, this is fine. So world, we also want the definition. Oh no, we don't. No, because we're doing definition dot matches. That would be silly. Okay, and actually, we don't want this right now. Maybe later. We might come back to that, but right now we don't want it. Definition.disassemble? What? No. Not what we want. We need to do definition dot... No, not definition. We want the multi-block matcher, right? So multi-block matcher which takes in the definition. Oh, no, this isn't going to work because we need the controller pause. Bugger. You know what, chat? Should we just make it so you have to hammer the controller? I think we should just do that, I'm gonna be honest, guys. Because it's not worth having the massive performance hit of right-clicking a block, right, with a hammer. Because that's going to have to search through every single possibility of every single multi-block. Compared to if I just have it so you right-click the controller, then it doesn't have to do any of that. It only has to check that for one multi-block definition, right? So I would be saving, you know, it would be something like 4,000 milliseconds to like 5 milliseconds. Where do you check the features, less bugs, etc. that you intend to add in Railroad? We have that in the GitHub projects, although that may actually be changing soon, because I have to actually create my own like to-do app for my job searching stuff that my work coach, I say work coach because he doesn't really do shit, but that he's got me to do. So if I do that, then I'll probably end up using that for Railroad, to be honest, because it would be better. But yes, right now we are on GitHub projects. But yeah. Also, I hate not having Discord open. I'm gonna open Discord. It's stressing me out. Because if someone pings me, then I want to know that someone freaking pinged me. Especially because Alex is not online at the moment. Which means that I have to moderate the Discord whilst streaming. Okay, there we go. Now if someone pings me, I will know. Okay. So yeah, I'm not going to do any of this, to be honest. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to get rid of this. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to get rid of this. So all this work we just did for that was completely and utterly unnecessary. And this can go back to being a record. And yeah, all of these can just go in here. There you go, like that. Okay. We can get rid of our toString as well. That's already handled for us. And yeah, everything else is fine. Okay. So now what we can do, we need to know if it's a controller that we're clicking, right? So what I'm gonna do I have a way to get the controllers from a multi-block definition? I actually don't. I really should. Okay. Well, what I can do... I need to create an effort for that, because that's kind of important. So let's have a public... Boolean is a controller block, which will use the anchor, so back 3i anchor. This is actually kind of tricky to do, huh? is kind of tricky. Like, what we could do is we could have a class. I don't really want to have a class, but there isn't really another way. So I'm thinking we have a class which is just an interface and it represents a controller, right? So a multi-block controller like that, right? And then yeah, this can maybe have a multi-block definition, get definition, that's fine. And then all I need to do is check, so we'll get the block state is equal world.get state if state.get block is instance of multi-block controller. Then we don't need any of this actually. So we'll say if it's not a controller, right? So we'll get the controller. Then we're gonna just pass, right? And then that allows us to actually get the controller, right? So we can do controller dot, I'll get the definition, I mean, so we can get the definition. And now we just have to determine the mirror and the other thing, right? So can we now do a new multi-block matcher? Definition dot try match using the world and the pause, right? So that in theory, server world I mean, should be able to get us a match result. And if match result is empty, then we can send a not formed text. That seems reasonable. Let's create that a thing though. So not formed text is equal text dot translatable. We'll say sure, something like this. So text plus Industria ID dot multi-block not formed. We can have yeah, that's fine. Multi-block dot, yeah, I want error dot, I guess that would make you think it's like well, no, I guess that's fine. That's fine. Yeah. That's all good. And then all I need to do is in the data gen, I can do where do I want to put this? I've reorganized all of the data gen, by the way, because I've added all of these items, as you can see. So I don't really know where to put things anymore. I think I'll just put it at the top. Yeah, with this stuff. So I'll do add text, which will take in the translation builder. Then it will take in multi-block controller dot not formed text, and then I can say multi-block structure not formed correctly. That'll be fine. And send message. So that'll send it as an overlay message. That's fine. What we can do is if player is equal null, then we can just pass. And then to do possibly sound and particles. Okay. And then, yeah, basically then we just want to use the match result. So we'll say match result dot get dot var. Let's make this match result opt, which it doesn't like. Let's just quickly do that. Dot var match result, and then that allows us to get everything, right? So now we can get yeah, I mean, really, this shouldn't be an optional, though. Like, is this ever actually an optional? Like, create result here. Yeah, so this is trying to basically find a result. But if this is the case, then that means... See, what does matches do? Look at chart at... Oh, that's checking that the origin pos already matches. Right. We actually kind of don't want it to do that, though. I'm going to copy this method. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a boolean skip controller check. And then this will just call return false, right? So that won't skip the controller check by default. But in here, if skip controller check or matches, so that means that it won't call this if this is true, right? I think that's how that works. So then what we can do, yeah, that'll be fine. So then we know that basically this is always going to be true. It's always not going to be empty, right? In theory. So as long as I pass in true. I am going to leave this here. I mean, really this should be like unknown error, or like no valid combination, right? No valid combination. And then let's just find usages of that, which is in here. So then we can just say no valid multi-block combination found, which should in theory never happen, but it could happen, is you know, is the theory. So then we can use the result. So we can say result.is valid. So if the result is not valid, then we need to do match result.problems, and for each of the problems we can say what we want, right? So for now I can just get the message, and if message is not equal null, then we can send message text dot translatable for now. I don't think they actually are translatable where I have them in the code, but that'll be fine. It's not going to cause a problem. I'm actually not going to have that in the thing. Yeah, I'm not going to have it as an overlay. I want it in chat. just that's, you know, so that won't cause a problem. We do need the player. Let's quickly grab the player, so then we can just do player.send message. This is complaining because I see. That's fine. I can just do that up here. Player is null, then we pass. Okay, so then in this case, well, either way, we want to return here, right? So we want to say it succeeded. Obviously didn't succeed, but that's fine. Else, we basically want to create the multi-block, right? Do we have anything else from the match result that we can use for that, is the question. So we got try match, we got matches, create result. No, not really, do we? We have builders, we have box from positions, but nothing. Also, I want tool windows structure. There you go. Because then, yeah, then I can see stuff like this, which is easier to see. Okay, let's do, so the match result obviously isn't helpful to us, right? Oh no, it is, because we have the cells. So we can do var cells, and a cell represents a position and a state. Wait, no, it doesn't. That's not helpful to us. Wait, is it helpful to us? So cell, okay, find usages. Find usages, find usage. Here we go. Let's go here. So add cell, where is this used? Find usages. So what it does is it goes through the definition, gets the character, gets the predicates, or predicate, however you want to say it. Then we get the local position, we get the world position, and we get the state. We add the cell, then we do port rules. That's fine, I think. So we can use the local positions to determine where the offsets will be. So where basically all the positions of the block entity will be. So what we can do is we can do cells.for, right? So for each cell in the cells, then we can get the character. Because we want to make sure that this cell isn't you know, we want to make sure that this cell isn't, for example, an air block or something, because we don't want that, right? And actually we should have in the definition something like some kind of like thing to skip air blocks if we want. So we could have like a boolean replace air blocks, and then we could have a boolean replace replaceable blocks, right? Can you have a block entity that sends data to all players even without them interacting? Yes, of course. You just send a packet to the players you want to send it to. That's all you need to do. And that will work perfectly fine. There we go, that's added to the codec. And then I just need a thing in here for that, so we can do public builder. We can say replace air blocks, which will say this dot replace air blocks, and then we can have a replace replaceable blocks, and we can pass both of those in here. We also need to make those as fields, so we're going to have a private boolean replace air blocks and replace replaceable blocks. Do you think you'll still be a model when you're a 30-year-old unk? Okay, maybe? I don't know. I mean, I think that's a very hard question to ask, right? Because we don't know what's gonna happen. Oh, God. We don't know what's gonna happen with the future of a lot of things, right? Realistically, we don't even know if Minecraft will still be a thing in 9 years' time, right? Let alone Minecraft Java Edition being a thing, and then let alone Minecraft modding as we know it being a thing, right? I think it's very possible that Minecraft modding won't be like that in 9 years, right? It could be it could just be JSON files at that point, right? Or the game just doesn't, you know, Java Edition might not even exist anymore. Minecraft might not even exist anymore, for all we know, right? So I think, you know, I don't think it's as easy to determine as you might think. Let's get the key. It's not key, it's character, but yeah. Then we want the cell pause. So I'm pretty sure there is just a cell pause. Yes, there is. And also, like, I don't know personally what I will be doing right at that point, right? Okay, what the hell? Whatever. Like, I very much could be, you know, for all I know, I could be working at Mojang in 9 years. I mean, probably, almost certainly not, but you never know, right? If that was the case, then no, I would probably not still be doing modding, because that would be crazy. That just doesn't make sense. Or maybe I would. I actually wonder if Mojang devs were allowed to do modding or not. I would be very curious to know if that's a thing they're allowed to do or not. Okay. We need to know what to actually place down, right? For the most part, I think it's just going to be like a multi-block block. I don't think it's going to be anything special, right? I think we can actually probably just make it a multi-block block, and then we can use the port rules to determine anything else, right? Oh my god. Does anyone know how to stop yawning? Does anyone have a trick on not yawning? Because I need that shit. It's not like I'm tired. Like, I'm not tired. I'm not bored. So why am I yawning so much? Who knows? So yeah, I just want to place down a normal multi-block block, right? But first, we need to know if we can actually do that, I guess. Right? So we need to know, first of all, Boolean can replace air is equal to the definition dot replace air blocks. Let's actually rename this to just replace air blocks. And then Boolean replace replaceable blocks. And then we just want to form the multi-block, right? So how do we want to do this? I think I would like some kind of multi-block former class that can do this for me. So I'm going to create a new class, multi-block former. Okay, and this will be a record because it's just going to take in something. So it's going to take in our definition and it's going to take in the match result, but it's going to need some other stuff as well. So it's going to need, for example, actually no, those will do for now because we'll have a method that will actually form it, right? So we'll have a public void or a public form result, which will do assemble. I'm going to rename this actually to multi-block assembler, and then this will be the assemble result. Okay, and then this will just take in a few things. So this will take in a server world, which I will just call the world. I would say it takes in a player, but I don't want it to take in a player. That's for a reason I'll get to at some point in the future. But for right now, we don't actually want it to have a player, so we're going to have to work without a player here. That should be fine, I think. I'm hoping that's fine. But we'll see. My predictions is that in 9 years, all Minecraft modding will go through Railroad ID. That would be crazy. I don't know, though. You never know, right? Because it's hard to predict in 9 years what will happen with Railroad ID, right? Like 4 years ago, or whenever I started it, right, it was going very slowly, and I was kind of under the impression of like, maybe this is never actually going to be a thing. But the past kind of year, I've locked in a lot more on Railroad, and we're getting some pretty good progress. Whether that will continue, I don't know, right? I don't have a job right now. So, you know, once I get a job, I'm going to be a lot busier in general, and I'm going to have a lot less time. So that's kind of like a we'll see kind of thing. But yeah, we don't want this, by the way. We just want to do I want to do that. But it would be sick, right? Imagine all Minecraft modding just started using Railroad. I think that would be pretty sick, and I would love to have that kind of thing. I just don't know how realistic that is, because I think even if Railroad becomes like a proper working IDE that people are genuinely using, I think it's a question of like, would everyone use it? Probably not. It would be probably the same thing of like, does everyone make multi-loader mods? The answer is no, they don't. Why not? Because I don't know, right? They just don't. So I think it's the same kind of thing. Or like, does everyone use IntelliJ? No, they most certainly don't. A lot of people use VS Code. A lot of people use Eclipse. Why? Because they just prefer them. So it would probably be the same thing. Why would they use Railroad if they prefer IntelliJ or if they prefer Eclipse? Hopefully Railroad will have enough like benefits over Eclipse or IntelliJ that you would want to use Railroad for modding, right? That's the plan, of course. That's, you know, obviously the plan. But yeah, I mean, we're quite far away from that right now. Like, we're very far away from that right now. Railroad is 4 years old. Kind of. I started it a long time ago. Actually, it might not be 4 years. That might be an exaggeration. Let me have a look real quick. It's very easy to find out because I can just find the... You can still see the original repositories because I haven't deleted them yet. I have considered it, but I haven't deleted them yet. Yes, 4 years ago was the first one, February 7th, 2021. So my birthday, I created the original Railroad in 2021. So yes, 4 years ago, 4.5 years ago, even. But it progressed for a while. Let's see if I can find how long it progressed for. So it progressed until the 22nd of May, and then it died. I don't know if that's when maybe we created the second version. Look, I can actually show you guys this, because this is all public. So this is the old Railroads. This was 4 years ago, right? And I can see that if I go to the oldest commits, 7th of February, so my birthday, 2021. And then if I go the Railroad old, so not Railroad old, just Railroad old, I should be able to find out what the oldest commit here was. This might just be, we might have just converted straight to a new project. It looks like I started this in July, so that's like a month, and that's like 3 months of not working on it, right? To then come back and continue it. Oh my god. What is this? What is this commit for? Oh, I just yeeted the bug reports file. Right. Okay. I was trying to set up things to be actually organized, but yeah, and as I say, a few people worked on this, right, all the way until November 5th, 2023, and then kind of since then it died for a long time. So this is obviously the current one. You can see the commits, it's not even close, right? 450 commits versus the old one. The old one was 87 commits, and then the original one was 78 commits. So, you know, this one is actually becoming something. And that's actually only on the main branch. If I look on the dev branch, it's 560 commits, right? But anyways, if I look at the oldest commit, which is actually really hard to find because it was, like, you know, there's a lot of pages. Can you find when a repository was created? Let me have a look, actually. Find when a GitHub repo was created. There does not seem to be such a thing. There we go. I've managed to get a plugin to do it for me. March 2024, there you go. So this was created March 2024 and it's had 560 commits, so that's pretty good, right? That's more than Industria, I believe. If I go the real dirty wordy Industria, we've had 145 commits, not even close. If I go my Discord bot, okay, it's not quite close to my Discord bot yet. But that's obvious because this was created June 2022, so that's a little bit different. But someday it will probably overtake because I'm not working on my bot anymore, or at least I haven't for a while. So also, what's up with this? Wait, what? Wait, why has it done that? That's a bug. If anyone wants something to fix, nice and easy thing for you to do there. I assume it's just been made a string in the readme. Yes, it has. So it would literally just be doing that. Wait, that did not do anything. Oh, because I'm in... Right. Yeah. But anyways, this stream is not meant for Railroad. Even though that seems like the more popular thing at the moment, that is not what this stream is meant to be for. So, okay, let's create an assemble result. So public record assemble result. I don't know exactly what that's going to hold right now. Actually, you know what I'm going to do before we continue is I just want to get in the game so I can show you guys what's happened. So let me do this real quick. Get this all compiling and stuff. Because I have actually done a lot of things and I'm quite excited about them. So we'll do that and just return success. That fixes that. That fixes that. We need to, let's just get rid of this for now so that we can actually load the game up. And I'm probably going to end the stream shortly, to be honest. I know we've only been going not even 2 hours, but honestly I'm getting a little bit dizzy. I don't know why, to be honest, but I don't want to accidentally like pass out on the stream or something. That would not be very good. So I will probably end somewhat shortly. I will turn my fan on as well. There you go. So let's just load the game. And I'll quickly show you guys what I've done. Or, I say what I've done, what my artist has done. I say my artist, they're not like assigned to be my artist or anything. There's no like, you know, formal agreement. But I do have someone who is making some art for the mod. Because we needed textures for things. Unfortunately, the machines don't have textures yet, but that was actually the next thing I was gonna ask if they could take a look at. But anyways, I'll show you what they have done, and you guys can let me know what you think. And then I'll probably end the stream, you know, once that's done. It looks like the registry failed to load. Oh, it's just saying it was empty. I see. That's fine. That's not a problem. That's obvious. So I do have now a new world here, which has all of the different ores that are in the mod. So we have here the aluminium or aluminum, however you want to say it. So we've got the ingot, we've got the nugget, we got the alumina, the aluminum hydroxide, the aluminate, the crushed bauxite, and the bauxite. You can see that the crushed bauxite doesn't have a texture yet. Then we have argentite ore. Ignore this texture on the ore, that's not the correct one. It's just like a placeholder thing. But we have argentite. Obviously this is the raw block, but that hasn't been done yet. We have crushed, we have concentrate, we have lead bullion, we have doré silver, we have silver ingot, silver nugget, silver block, and then we have lead. So we have block of lead, we have ingot, we have nugget, we have tetragonal litharge, which is a thing. We have galena concentrate, we have crushed galena, and then we have galena. Once again, ignore this texture on the ore, that is temporary, but we do have a raw galena block, which is very sexy, by the way, if I don't say so myself. Well, I didn't create it, but I'm just saying it is very nice. I like it a lot. Big fan of this block. And then we have titanium. We don't have like any of the ores and stuff of titanium yet because I haven't planned that far ahead, funnily enough. Titanium is very much end game, so I haven't planned that far yet. We have zinc, so zinc ingot, zinc nugget, zinc block. We have zinc calcine, sphalerite concentrate, crushed sphalerite, and then sphalerite. And then we have cobalt, so we have cobalt ingot. The nugget hasn't been done yet, but that's obviously coming next. We have cobalt block, we have crushed cobaltite, we have normal cobaltite, and then once again ignore the ore, that's just a placeholder thing. We have lithium, so this is crushed spodumene. I need to add the I forgot what the ores are called, but I need to add those from old Turty chemistry, because I think the textures for those were fine, so I'll probably add those. Then we've got spodumene concentrate, and then we got lithium ingot, and we got lithium carbonate as well. Lithium carbonate is what's used in factories, by the way, if you guys didn't know. I don't know why you would know, but now you know. Then we have nickel, so nickel ingot, nickel nugget, nickel block, pentlandite concentrate, crushed pentlandite, and then pentlandite. And then we have iridium, once again, only the ingot, the nugget, and the block. We have silicon, so we have a silicon ingot, we have a silicon rod, I think it's called, and then silicon pellet. Yeah, that's correct. And then we have crushed quartz. Yeah, crushed quartz, that's obviously just normal quartz. And then here we have tin, so tin ingot, tin nugget. We have something concentrate. I honestly don't remember what it's called. Cassiterite, of course, yes, cassiterite concentrate, crushed cassiterite, normal cassiterite, and then cassiterite ore. We have rubber, which I haven't at all got into on stream yet, but we have normal rubber here. We have latex, or raw rubber, I guess. And then we have coagulated latex. And then we have sulfur, which once again I haven't got onto yet, but sulfur block, which is actually a block of pyrite, crushed sulfur, and then pyrite, and then we have the two ores as well. And then finally it's just steel nuggets, and then steel blocks. So that's kind of everything that's happened. All of the textures, all the items, all of the new blocks I've added. So it's not obviously complete yet. Things like iridium, things like titanium haven't been done yet. And then also rubber is going to require some more things, like adding a bucket of latex here. I haven't registered the item for that yet, so that's one of the things. And then obviously steel will have probably something above it, like a blend of some kind. But yeah, and obviously more textures as well. But that's basically everything that has happened between the last stream and this one. I probably should have done this at the start, let's be honest. Ow, ow. But yeah, I'm going to end the stream here, to be honest, guys. Because, yeah, I'm quite dizzy and I'm getting a little bit lightheaded, so I am going to end it here just in case I pass out. Don't particularly want to pass out on stream, so yeah, I will see you all in the next stream, which will be tomorrow. There'll also be a video tomorrow, possibly 2 videos tomorrow, actually. No, hopefully one of them will come out today. Then there'll be a video tomorrow as well, hopefully, and a short tomorrow, and a stream tomorrow. So a lot's happening tomorrow. But yeah, I will see you all then. Goodbye.